Yes, now, bless now. Do not forget the rest now. Des at King of the Pit TV. Follow me on Instagram. That's at Des Rocksteady. You know what's good. We're going to dive straight in. Have I listened to this record before? Bits and bobs over the years. Do I remember any of it? No, not at all. I would say 80 to 85% of this record is completely unheard of in my head. Alright, not heard at least that much of the record. And the other 15%, stuttering, the other 15% I'm just unaware of. Like, I just completely forgotten about it, alright? So, let's get started. We're going to start off with multinational corporations, instinct of survival, and the kill, alright? I think that's how it works, right? The kill is nice and short, alright? So, let's get straight into it. First time listening, Napalm Deaths, Scum. Let's grind on, people. Wobbly feedback. You already know it's crusty as hell with them vocals. Multinational corporations, genocide of the starving what? Of the starving nations, is that it? Multinational corporations, genocide of the starving nations. Yes, now, people. Before we get into this, yeah, I don't want to be pausing all the way through. I know you don't like it, right? But coming from a metal background before I got into punk and hardcore music and so forth, back when I was a little nippy, yeah, I looked at Napalm Death, and I'm sure a lot of people still do look at Napalm Death as just this extreme metal act and not taking into consideration the punk roots and, you know, the real deal element and perspective this band had, at least during this period. I don't know where they went it up. I'm sure they took a more metal route, but this is a punk band through and through, you know what I mean? So just before this, I recorded and had my first listen to Carcass. I forgot the name of the record. Something in Putrefaction, right? And that came out a year after this. And one correlation I've found is that it's relatively low budget production. And I say that just in regards to they must not have played efficiently to a click track, or the producer definitely hasn't corrected them when they've gone wrong and out of time, because, you know, the drumming wasn't accenting on beat when it came to, you know, the guitar stabs and the riffing and whatnot. But that's what creates that normality and that engagement with people who want a less than perfect product. Hey, it's good enough for me, alright? Instinct of survival. We got a band over in my ends, yeah, hardcore punk band, which are going right now, called The Flex. The vocals sound a little bit like that, to be fair with you. Northern England. Revisiting that line there, brilliant hook. Multinational corporations, genocide of starving nations. Really good. The riffs at the best. I think if the production value is a bit better. Actually, I don't think it's so much the riffs. I think the drumming sounds a bit thin, but we found that in the Carcass record as well. I'll tell you what, I'm coming in here from a place where I'm not very familiar with grindcore and its counterparts. All right, I like hardcore, I like punk and stuff, but I'm more used to a more full drum sound. It seems in this Napalm Death record and the Carcass record I listened to, the drums were a little bit thin, or potentially a lot more accent on the hi-hat, the closed hi-hat in particular. Cool. What's this next tune? A short one. This one's The Kill. Just pure unfiltered aggression. Just a blast of just getting a brick of noise chucked at your head so far. Well, this is Napalm Deaths, Scum. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to raise my hand and I'm going to say, let's move on to the next 3 tunes, okay? We're listening to the entire record. You're listening to Des at King of the Pit TV. This next few tunes is Scum, Caught in a Dream, Polluted Minds. I'll tell you what, I'm wanting to hear a little more DBT-esque, mid to high tempo punk riffing throughout this record. I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 in there. I really want to hear that. That's my cup of tea, that. Let's go. Oh, we got an advertisement. Multinational corporations.
With Monday.com WorkOS. This.
Capitalism, man. That's a dirty bass tone. Sounds like the brown noise. Sounds like a crossover thrash section. That artwork's hard though, innit? It's the most putrid yellow colour and just black and white. That's like quite an underrated concept. I don't know around this period how many acts were taking influence by Napalm Death and using that sort of style, but I don't see enough bands using black and white and just yellow, striking yellow. I think it looks pretty cool and it's very unique. Here we go. Who's moshing? Yeah, we've run into our first like actual going for a mooch mosh section quality. Let's go. Let's go. We're getting riffs now. Come on. I don't know what's going on with the drums, but that's quite a unique drum pattern to be having on with a riff like this. I didn't expect that at all. How's it goes like like a very warped D beat sort of rhythm. Bizarre. Here we go. Blast beats. Box up. Yo, these fast beats are just pure. I mean, the production value has sort of made me only realise 8 minutes in that them blasts are pretty fast. Like, overall, it's just a big wall of noise, isn't it? So, you're just too busy having your hair blown off of your head. But, listening to that snare... That snare sounds crazy. That was Caught in a Dream. Polluted minds now, people. The minds are still getting polluted. It's 2022. What's going on? Can you believe
miss your tax
it?
return deadline? If you didn't file before the 31st of January, do not...
Sorry. No. Dirty. That was the next set of 3 songs from Napalm Deaths' Scum. We're going on a journey right about now, and this journey is terrifying. A lot of noise, a lot of noise, a lot of racket, a lot of not much melody. Not much melody. Without further ado, we're going to get straight back into it. There's King of the Pit TV, Napalm Deaths Scum, the whole record. This next tune is entitled Sacrifice. It's going to be a quick one, followed by Siege of Power, which is a hard title. And then we're moving into the track Control, okay? Let's go. Dirty. That bass tone. We blended into the next track there, track A to B. Yeah, I just want to say I want to give a shout out to the people who listen to this on a regular basis, not this record in particular, but this style of noisy grind, cause how you manage to do that, I've no idea. It's so extreme, like it's so noisy and just atonal and just dude, I wouldn't be able to listen to, in a respectful way, I wouldn't be able to have an entire playlist full of this material, like, for an hour long, for 2 hours long, for an entire day, for an entire lifetime. I don't know how you grindheads do it. You know what I mean? You've definitely got a peculiar taste, because I like extreme music, but, you know, this stuff is noisy, man. Sacrifice. Any riffs, any riffs. Whoa! My bad, I said we were going into a different song. We weren't, it just came out and then went back in. My bad, people. Siege of Power, come on. Come on! Best track so far, this is Ignorant. Yo, and I said before it had the hardest title. Come on! Where are we going? Almost discharging, man. Yo, I didn't expect that riff to happen the way it did. It's like just pure chainsaw riff, man. Come on. That was the most in-depth tune I have heard on this record so far. There was two sections in particular. You had the ignorant, primitive, bloody, I don't know, shin shaker of a riff on the first and the third section, and they're jam-packed in the middle like a sandwich. You had that higher tempo punk section with a little bit of discharge there and a little filler in between. The lyrical was good. I would go as far as saying that was a brilliant protest song. I'm sure the rest are, but there hasn't been as much as there's not been as much clarity as there has been during that track. That's my favourite one so far. It's not necessarily the selling point of Napalm Death, purely because you want it, well, the Scum record, should I say, because I'm sure you want to be here to hear the extremity and the fast and the noise. But me, as someone who likes something reeled back a little more, so that really was more my taste. So I enjoyed that. The next track is entitled Control. Let's get straight stuck in. One love, people. Can you believe it? You know what? I'm going to have to stop getting annoyed at these advertisements. I need to find a way of blocking them, don't I? It's my own problem. Bro, we're going back. This is a headbanger. This is fresh as out. Headbang. I'm starting to hear a lot of discharge coming into this record now. badass. We're starting to get into some juicy riffing. Yo, I thought it'd just be a racket from start to finish. We're really getting somewhere here as far as what I like, alright? Yes, now, people! There's King of the Pit TV, Napalm Deaths, Scum, the full record. You know how it is. The next 3 tracks, entitled Born on Your Knees, Human Garbage, jeez! Dystopia had an album called Human Equals Garbage, so potentially it was influenced by this. And then we're going to go through You Suffer, and then we'll go through Life as well, alright? Because we all know what You Suffer is. So, Born on Your Knees, without further ado. Come on. Pretty cool. Guitarist wanted to show off a little bit there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bloody hell, we're going into a little bit of lead and rhythm playing in that one. Yeah, so we know the Napalm Death formula with them fast bits, man. Make a racket, the blast. I don't think the blast do any fills. Sort of like Discharge. They found the formula and just went with it, didn't they? Human Garbage, people. Ooh! Come on! Mean riff. Alright, he's just gone. What's he called, Barney? He's knackered the formula there. We've gone from triplets to quadruplets. All right. Where are we going? Who's moshing? Alright, we've got the one-hit wonder here coming up. That was You Suffer. And just on there, I'm going to make a passing comment of my own personal preference, okay? That was the OG, more or less. So, past here, and to this day, we've got bands just doing incredibly short songs, right? It's just horrible. It's horrible. I hate them so much. I hate really short songs. I like short songs, but I don't like pieces of music which is like, from 0.1 to 10 seconds long. It's just ridiculous. It's a lot of novelty, and if you're a serious band, or if you want to be perceived as serious, just don't do that, man. You know what I mean? It's just a whole lot of novelty. As somebody who enjoys music, personally, I don't like it because how can I get involved in music that is that short, and how can I take away a message from something which can only possess like 1 or 2 lines maximum? Alright, there's just no substance, no depth, no nothing. Now, somebody who's into prog rock might say, well, you like punk music, which is like 40 seconds long. Yeah, I do. So, it's up for debate, people, but I can't stand short songs. You know what I mean? Even if you're like an extreme grind band of any sorts who've just got a catalogue of like 12-second long songs, get that out of here. I don't care. So, rant aside, Des at King of the Pit TV, we're going into Napalm Deaths Scum. We've got some tunes coming up. We've got, this one's entitled Life. Then we've got Prison Without Walls, which is the Planet Prison. And then we've got Point of No Return. And then we've got Negative Approach, which is quite interesting. We'll talk about that. The title of that's quite interesting, especially regarding the time this was brought out. So let's go. Life. King of the Pit TV.
Did you miss your tax return deadline? If you didn't file
Corinna the
before the 31st of
freelancer
January,
trying to market a product on a Napalm Death record. Oh, this... What you on about? Cannibal Corpse meet Hug Sodomy? Sorry, people. I didn't really want to check out Cannibal Corpse. Don't know why that was the case. Live. Let's go. They changed the drums up for this. This must have been separate recording. That snare sounds different. Is it just me? Yo, this has got to be 2 different recording sessions. Them vocals were vicious, them high-end vocals. Was that Barney still? Them vocals were absolutely ridiculous. I loved them high-end vocals. And I like the sound of the drums. I like that snare a lot better than what we've been hearing. This is Prison Without Walls, people. Let's see if Corinna pops up. This one's entitled Negative... No, it's not. This one's The Point of No Return, people. Noise. Come on. Right. We've taken a different turn. I think that was the end of that 3 songs, by the way. Life has checkmarked a change in the sound of this record, and I like it. I like it a lot. Even the lows sound a lot more just what I would associate with crust. Yeah, really good. Really good. There's that King of the Pit TV. Napalm Deaths, Scum, the entire record. We got Negative Approach, which is interesting. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was the case. Were the fellas in Napalm Death friends with Negative Approach? Because Negative Approach, the hardcore act, came prior to this, quite a bit prior to this, and to this day they hold quite a grind sound to them. Obviously, you know, on record it's pure hardcore punk, but if you went and saw them live nowadays, which I have done, and the vocals are pretty grind, you know what I mean? So without further ado, let's drag me up here so we can check out the titles of the tracks. Negative Approach, Success, and Deceiver. Let's go. Guitar's just whirring around on that track. Success. Them vocals are brilliant. And now we've got Deceiver. Let's go. That guitar was quality, wasn't it? It's like a seesaw. The vocal has an air to what's it called? Was it Springer from SSD? The kids will have their say. The vocals remind me just a little bit from time to time of them vocals. Quality. Des from King of the Pit TV, checking out Napalm Deaths, Scum, the full record. This next one is entitled CS, followed by Parasites, followed by Pseudo Youth. Let's go, people. Come on. They even changed the bass tone, because I was speaking about how either side of this record sounds a bit different. The bass tone was a lot more distorted and fuzzier and a lot more in your face. Now not as much though. Ooh! This is hard. Quality. Quality, come on. Alright, yo, I'm gonna say something which shouldn't be offensive, but them guitar solos are just mindless noise, alright? So there's just nothing about them, alright, other than plugging in and going. The blasts probably do need a fair bit of practice to get to that speed without falling apart or just like slowing down into nothingness. The guitars on the fast bits just need to make a load of noise. And the vocal is hardly spectacular on the fast bits, just so this must have been really important at this particular time, because as far as the actual musicianship and the craft goes, it's not great. It's not great. Like I've put guitar solos like that on music when me and my mate have just been having a laugh creating just joke bands. And yeah, I don't need to go into too much depth because I wasn't there at the time this was, but I'm interested to know how the circuit was and why this was so important to this day. Obviously, we've stemmed off and we've spanned the whole generation and generation of bands that take influence from Napalm Death. Definitely, definitely. So obviously they were in the right place at the right time with the right sound. I just don't know any of that right now, so it's interesting listening to this and sort of working my mind around the actual importance of this record and this sound. Pretty cool, but all props to Napalm Death, you know what I mean? Brought up on this soil, so I can't complain. Here we go, Pseudo Youth, everyone. Come on! Wow. Them high vocals must be another member of the band, because when them highs are in, they do tend to lap somewhat with the main vocal we're used to. So, yeah, more than likely another member of the band, a guitarist or something, but they are my favourite vocals in this act. They are my favourite vocals. Something as well is on the album cover, we've got like logos of well-established companies and brands. And it's okay as a local act, but surely as this record became what it became, surely legal issues arose on the negative association that was implied by putting their branding and logo on this cover. Is it still the case? Did they have to remove it? I should hope a band like Napalm Death didn't have to remove it, but you know, when labels are involved and when the industry's involved and big companies such as the ones they're, you know, showcasing on the front, surely they got into some trouble. Anyway, Des at King of the Pit TV, we're coming nearabouts to the end of our first ever listen to Napalm Death Scum. This next one's called Divine Death. As the machine rolls on, the harsh reality of it all, and Common Enemy, okay? Let's get straight into it. Napalm Death Scum, King of the Pit TV, one love. Decent drum front. That's eerie. That's like The Exorcist, isn't it? That's a creepy vocal there fading out. Wow. Sounds hard though. As the machine rolls on. Right, that was Common Enemy, wasn't it? Right. Yep, Moral Crusade, right. Cool. Des at King of the Pit TV. All the way through. We've got Moral Crusade next, Stigmatized, MAD, and Dragnet. We're going to listen to them all to the end, alright? Finishing off our first listen of Napalm Deaths, Scum. It's been an experience, hasn't it? Hey, I'll be honest with you. This ain't my cup of tea, man. It's too noisy for me. Let's get on with it. You never know. I was expecting a cheeky little D-beat riff here and there. We kind of got there. Let's go. Discharge. Let's go. Good tune. The drummer is actually going mad on the fills right about now. Ask me that at the start of this record. I thought all they'd be able to do is like do a couple of taps out of time and then do some blasts. But the drummer's actually going MAD as the title assumes. Come on. Hard riff. There's a big organisation that books hardcore and metal bands called MAD Tour Booking. Potentially they got the name from this song. I don't know what MAD stands for though. Dragnet people. Long tune this for the record, 2 minutes long. Feedback Central. Where we're going? Back into the fast? Nah. We got something to creep out. Or is that the end of the record? Let's have a little check. You never know. You never know. These songs are like 2 seconds each, so. Alright. I just listened to Napalm Deaths Scum for the very first time, yeah? It was an interesting experience. Would I want to listen to it again? Not necessarily. Do I need to look into how impactful this was back when it was released? Yes, definitely. If I go to an event now, like a Grind or a Crust or a, any sort of adjacent genre with local bands that are coming out of the scene right now, this band, and more than likely this record, will have influenced them indirectly or directly to quite a large degree. So I respect that, and I need to understand how this is a thing and why this is a thing. If you watched up to this far, let me say I appreciate you. And if you are a big Napalm Death fan, leave me some information in the comments so I can learn, alright? Because the commenters and the engagement I've been receiving, where you've sort of given me information and told me to look here, there and everywhere, has been incredibly beneficial in my understanding of extreme music and, everything in between. So, thank you for watching this. It's been an experience. The drummer can play them blasts like a fucking metronome, alright? Them snare hits were just consistent as anything, alright? I'm sure the drummer was only blasting for 2 hours every practice session and then putting the drumsticks down and leaving, go and get something to eat. Very nice. The riffs weren't great, but the riffs did what they had to do. Did I prefer this or Carcass? I preferred Carcass, in all fairness. But that was Napalm Deaths Scum. It felt as if I went through a journey from the start to finish. It sounded like the band was developing throughout the entire record, which is quite interesting. Halfway we had a change of sound, and then by the end we had turned into a little bit more of a metal band, which is what I believe they ended up transitioning in as the albums sort of went on. So without further ado, I've got band practice to get to, so this was an interesting experience. I'm going to sign out and say I love you all. Thank you for watching. That's Des at King of the Pit TV. Follow me on Instagram, that's at DesRocksteady. This was Napalm Death with Scum.